विसा सर 3:05 ला चालू करूयात आपण. 3:05 बस.
हा 2 मिनिटात.
Yes, sir.
हॅलो. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for nice introduction. Definitely, we are also having feeling proud that uh, for working for so many years with such a prestigious institute in Pune and around. It is, I feel very fortunate to work with this institute and the faculty members like you people all. Mr. Sir is happened to be my sir also. This is for students, all students. And Shah sir, Shah sir is there. Shah sir is also my teacher. So we are very fortunate that we are working from since many years with such faculties over here, and that actually inspires us to do such kind of works over here. So in dental clinics, though I'm working in dental clinics, little more amount of dental clinics. This project was special for us, for me, and for Nilesh sir as well, because this was the largest project, that is a number of chairs that we installed, that we got to design, and that was with some special requirements. So that we'll see through this presentation. So I think I'll start presentation, we'll go through that, and then later on we'll talk about it in detail. So Naren sir, shall I present my screen?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Is it visible to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So we'll start. Now this is the project that we have designed and executed here on Prabhat Road, Pune. Now, first about, let us start with the first meeting or about the client. Okay. Just tell me, is it changing real time or is there a lag any?
No, sir. It's perfect.
Problem. Okay. 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 So first of all, this client, it's a dentist couple actually, Dr. Vijay Deshmukh, who is an implantologist, and his wife, Dr. Sonali Deshmukh, who is orthodontist. Both are in this dentistry field more than 20-22 years, having great experience in this dental practice and in education too. Currently, ma'am is HOD at D.Y. Patil Dental College for orthodontic department. So both of them are having great experience in this dentistry. They have worked on many projects. They have presented their papers all over the world and got many awards for their work, excellence in dentistry and all. And we got a chance to work for them for their new project. So they wanted to upgrade their existing clinic, which were there at the same place near around Kamla Nehru Park, Kamla Nehru Park. So there were only two chairs in small cramped area. So they were looking for some large space, and they got the space, and then they called me that they wanted to set up a dental clinic with 6 chairs in large area. So that is brief about the client. Now, the brief they gave me, that was very interesting. It was just one line like this, that we want a dental clinic with international standards, and that was it. And I was like, oh, international standards that you want. Okay. So obviously we need to discuss more, discuss a lot on this. But few points that I am going to share here so that it will be helpful for you as well to work on when we'll start you start working on projects. So few points are like this, that discussion started, and first of all, doctor explain us that what kind of dental facilities that they want here by having all those 6 chairs. Now, two are the their specialty that uh, Dr. Vijay sir is implantologist, and the ma'am also needs uh, the department separate cabin for the orthodontist. So as she is working in orthodontistry, so she was in need of 2 chairs, and implantologist Dr. Sir was having in need of 1 chair only, but he wanted a separate cabin first and the separate operatory for that. So there were 3 chairs occupied here, and 3 different departments they wanted to establish here. They want to cater in 3 different categories in this dentistry. So he explained me in detail about the dental facilities, what kind of dental facilities, then what kind of dental equipments are going to be there, other than chairs, other than conventional equipments and all. Then we talked about local patients. It is also important to discuss the clientele of doctor, clientele of this kind of any owner, what kind of patients they have, what class of patients they have, because see after 20 years, 22 years, they have their own kind of patients, class of patients. So, and that was including the class 1 officers, celebrities, the big shot personalities and all, along with the local walk-in patients as well. But they wanted to cater more for that, this kind of patients. So they wanted to have that kind of class in interior. They were then they have overseas patients as well, patients from abroad, foreign patients as well. So how come it is possible? That is, it is possible because in India, there is a medical expenses are much lesser than any other world, and in especially dental, in dentistry, I don't know whether you are aware about this or not, but still there is a uh, what we can say there is a dental tourism in this dental dentistry, that for the foreign patients, so they come here. There is a chain of doctors, those who are connected with this dental tourism system. That suppose if any foreign patient, see, dental treatment is not like that. The patient comes here, the doctor do operates on the do the treatment, and patient can go back immediately. That dental treatment needs some 4, 5 sittings, 7 sittings, 10 sittings, or 3 sittings, depends upon the treatment, what kind of treatment that patient want to have. So here, and there is a gap in between 2 sittings. There may be a gap of 3, 4 days in between 2 sittings in 2 follow-ups. So there is a system like dental tourism. So patient do land. Just suppose that patient lands in Delhi, and that patient starts his treatment at Delhi. After that, he has got 3, 4 days. So they walk around, they roam around. They may go to Agra, Jaipur, and come back to Delhi, or they may, while roaming, if they landed into Agra, then in Agra they can get the next follow-up for that. Similarly in Jaipur, and in similarly in all cities in, all over India, that this system is there. Doctor pass on the what kind of treatment procedure has been done earlier, and then they pass on to the next doctor, and then the further treatment is done for that. So overseas patients are also there in India. A lot of overseas patients are there. So they explain about the overseas patient and the frequency and all. Then overseas delegates as well. As I told you that this client doctor and the madam both are into education. So in this clinic, now ma'am is there in the college. Now sir is looking after only clinics and his workshops and all. So he conducts worldwide seminars, webinars, and as well as some hands-on practices in his clinic. He wants to have some hands-on, conduct some hands-on practices for the doctors. So overseas delegates are also going to be there in this clinic. So they wanted some space for them as well. Then specialist doctors. Other than these two faculties, these two streams, that implantologist or the orthodontist, they were they are going to having the other doctors from other streams as well, maybe cosmetologists on some other things. So they explain about the specialty doctors for remaining 3 chairs. Then they do have some interns or PG students as well for their practice and all, for experiences. So they were in need of basically these basic requirements, other than the common requirements of dental clinics. So we'll not let's not discuss about those common requirements that I want to have this kind of chair, then I will have the X-ray unit, then I will have the RVG unit and light cure and the monitor that I want on my mirror. All those are common things that you have discussed a lot now. So after this discussions, let's move to the existing floor. Let's move to the site. What was the existing floor and what is the location of it? So this was the floor layout. Okay. Can you see this pointer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this was the existing floor. This is the premises which is located on Prabhat Road. It's the name Rahul Capital, and this is the window that I shown here. At 3rd floor, he has got the space over here. This hatched portion, this yellow colored portion or the floor was for this dental clinic, and the carpet area is around 2200. They have some extra space on this side, but nothing is done on this side yet. This is not with them. So this floor, and there was the only entrance from here. As you come out from the lift, there is the only entrance here, and this, the central portion, is the atrium from the ground floor itself. So there we don't have any access on this side. We have access on this side. This is the road side. This is the Prabhat Road side, and we have access on this side only. And there were 2 ducts here, 3 ducts, and that was the space that we use for the dental clinic. Then the work starts with some more information and all, and we start working on some, same like you, that the alternatives, the layouts, discussions, lot of discussions. Now all those discussions and all layouts that I'll not present here, because there were many layouts that we made, but just to explain, 1, 2, 3, 4 designer working day and night, and again modifications, some changes, some minor changes, some changes in equipment, some changes in spaces of equipments and all, and still it was going on. So finally we freeze one layout here. That layout was like this. Now we'll go through this layout one by one. Now this was the entrance, and the scenario is like that. There was a window here which was overlooking this atrium, which was wooden window, but that is kept always closed. But we could see the atrium through this window. So as you come here, this is very narrow passage, and we don't have much space for the large size signage and all. Still, we discuss with doctor, and doctor requests the owner that can we put any board over here or large signage, because that was needed over there. So we put the signage over there on the window itself, because that window was not in use. Nobody was going to use it. That was for some emergency purpose or some cleaning purpose and all. So that we close, and that we put a large board over here. Then the shoe rack that we need to keep over here in the passage only, because there was no space on this side. Okay, then as you enter, that you can see that this is the waiting area all along with the wall. This is the reception, and this is the account office. Behind this partition, from this side, that they wanted some space for 2 staff members over here to sit for the account. Then in this reception, about this shape, because everywhere that you see here the rectangle shape over here, only in reception and waiting there is little curvilinear shape. So doctor wants specifically that, he said that I want this flowing kind of thing here, which is smooth and curved, which gives you a large look, big look. So earlier we were planning a straight partition over here, the continuous sitting and all, and this individual sitting, this is changed after the COVID-19 situations. Earlier, otherwise there was earlier separate sitting, 2-seater sofa, then some casual sitting here that we were planning, but later on it changed. So this curvilinear portion that gives you the huge look, grand look over there. So that we'll see later on. Next is that conference room. That conference room or boardroom or hands-on practice room, as I told you, that he conducts some lectures. Then he is involved in some 2-3 committees. He is president of All India Implantologist Committee. So he do have some meetings over here, but in this COVID situation, they are not conducting meetings here, but we have made provision for that. Then this is the patient washroom here. Now from this onwards, the clinic area is designed in this premises only, and this is the for the, you can say, for patients and the public areas. So here is the patient washroom. Then there is the pantry and storage here. There is some storage for staff. Then you can enter from this side, and there is the pantry. This is consultation 2. That is here the doctor sits here. Dr. Vijay Deshmukh sits here, implantologist. He was in need of separate cabin over here, but at the same time he wants his operator in front of him with a glass and with a film on it. But that was his specific requirement, because he conducts, as I told you, that he conducts some webinars and seminars, he conducts some lectures, he arranges some lectures. So he conducts all those things from here only. Then this is chair number 6. Chair number 6. Ideally, it should be chair number 1, because when you enter from this side, this becomes obviously this becomes a first chair. But doctor only said that we'll mark it as a 6th number chair, because if some patients come till this department or this department and goes out, they don't get an idea that how many chairs are there, how many cabins are there in this clinic. So it is better if we put a 6th chair here, so at least one can understand without going here that this is a big clinic, this is having multiple chairs, polyclinic. So this giving 6th number to this chair was his idea. So we accepted that, and then we planned the later. Now in this chair 5, 4 and 3 all are identical. They are dedicated to separate facilities, streams of the treatments in the dentistry, and each one is having a small consulting table and the chair. Consulting table, chair, 1 basin unit and 1 trolley. No huge work platform, nothing was there. So 4 and 3, these 3 units are identical. Here is the consultation 1. Here that orthodontist ma'am sits here, and as per her need that we provided 2 chairs here. So there was one offset here, then chair was not fitting like this or like this. So we use this corner space for the spittoon, and there is enough space to move around the chair by keeping the enough space around it, that we placed it in 45 degree here. And this is the work platform for this chair, and chair number 1, that here it is a work platform on this side. And this thin line that you see here all over, these all are glass partitions. Except this brown one, they are wooden. And these are wooden, and these all lines are glass partitions. Then this is the staff washroom. This was the patient washroom, and this is the staff washroom, which comes from here, and the staff can use it inside that, because there is no point in allowing patient to use this. So that we made it, they converted into staff washroom. Then this is the electrical room. In this electrical room, as we know, it's named as the electrical room. That inverter, batteries, the compressors, and one or two suction units, which are placed here in this small, that is having a sliding door over here, and from this side it is closed. Then this is the sterilization room, in which, as per their need and as per some standards, that there are 2 sinks here as per need and as per parameter, NABH parameters. NABH is the National Accreditation Board for Healthcare Centers and the hospitals. So they have there some parameters, they have there some norms that how dental centers should be set up. And by following all those norms and all, that we have tried to design this clinic here. So that is also completed, those fulfilled all those requirements, parameters of NABH. Then here on this side, there is a washing machine and dryer as well. So all those linens and things used here can be washed here, aprons, and some disposable aprons that doctor uses, some staff uses some washable aprons and all. So that can be washed here and dried here only, because there is no space, no other balcony on to this premises, so that can be used as a dry balcony or something. So dryer is also installed inside this. Then this is a space that is called center manager space. So this clinic is managed by one person who is expert, who is a basically dentist and in business management as well. So that person operates look after the entire clinic, not the doctor. So that is the space, small space for the center manager. And this is the CBCT room. You can say it a scanning room. That is cone beamed computerized tomography room. So that is the unit that that was the requirement of this clinic, special requirement of this clinic, that they want to install this CBCT unit over there. So there is the requirement of this unit is that it is a scanning. It's a kind of X-ray unit. So in their parameters, manuals, companies manuals, CBCT manual, that it is said that all walls should be 9-inch thick. And if you can't construct wall over there, then, and if you have a 3-inch partition over there, then it should be covered. It should be covered with a lead sheet all around. So putting lead sheet on partition, that lead is very heavy, and the putting the lead sheet all around the room, that was not possible. So we constructed, because there were some beams here, so there was no problem to construct walls over here. So we constructed this 9-inch thick walls, and this door is made up of wood, but from inside this, having a vision panel over here, that I'll explain you, because the CBCT unit is installed here, and that it's a trigger, that shoot button control is outside the door, and patient is posed here inside by the assistant. Inside that there is a computer in this room. Printer is also there inside. There is a special printer for that X-ray unit, and that CBCT scans 180-degree face of a patient from left to right, that moves while scanning. So that emits those X-rays. So to protect from these X-rays, the exposure from these X-rays, that door is also having lead sheet from internal side. And the vision panel that we made, that is also what we can say, the lead glass, you can say, that those X-rays cannot pass through. So that small 7x7 glass panel is also fixed over here in this CBCT room. And these are the all requirements. Now, if you see there is a passage, continuous long passage over here, then we created a little more space here to access this area, that pantry area, this doctor's cabin, then this chair number 6, there chair number 5, and to access this passage. So we created this. So we got a space over here. Then the idea came out that we'll treat this as a selfie wall, so that one can get distance over here to get photographs and all. And this that we made converted into a selfie wall that you'll come to see, that you'll get to see in the pictures later on. So finally, we come to freeze this layout, and this was what. And then later on, after approving this, all parameters were satisfied, fulfilled. So we started working on this. Now, again, we started discussing, after finalizing the layout, again, we started discussing what kind of theme that you want, what kind of color scheme that you want, which all materials that we'll use, then color scheme, and the soft furnishings. In this soft furnishing, instead of having more importance to the sofa furnishing and all those things, of course there is a importance to that, but more importance is to this one, that leather for chairs. Chair color is the most important thing in this dental clinic. What kind of upholstery, what kind of cover, leather cover that the chairs are having, because those chairs are vibrant chairs, colors are vibrant. That is the main gadget that is going to be a main unit in this dental clinic. So that is you can see the focal point of any operating. So that is also equally important, that for what color that you should go for. And then finalizing some all small details. These pictures are just representative pictures to explain you that basically we again discussed with the theme, materials, color scheme, soft furnishing details, and after freezing all these things, most important thing remains, that it becomes a project cost. Now what will the project cost for this? So in this, here the Nilesh sir's entry is here, and that it is his part now. Nilesh sir?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, all.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
As Prasad sir told you, I was introduced by Prasad sir with Dr. Vijay Deshmukh sir from very initial stage, when they just finalized the location, and once the designer was finalized, at that initial stage only, Prasad sir introduced me with the Dr. Vijay Deshmukh sir. Simultaneously, they were working with the designs and everything. Simultaneously, I was working with the space that we got. Actually, the space we got was more crunchy. That entire this office was full of furnitures and full of heavy furnitures, not light furniture. What you are now going to see this. It was having a big storages, tables, and everywhere. Even we were not able to take the measurements. As Prasad sir will remind that at one corner, even we were not able to reach at that particular location to take the measurements. So that entire space was with us. So I divided this entire space, or I divided this entire costing in several fragments. First, I made dismantling an entire different element. Then I got civil different, interior cost different, electricals. As per services, I made the separate quotations of each and everything. Obviously, with discussion with the Prasad sir, with every minor detail. And at initial stage, the first quotation was submitted to Mr. Vijay Deshmukh sir. And and Prasad sir will remind that all these things, every minute detail was mentioned in that particular quotation. There was nothing we had kept anything blind in these things. Each and every element of that particular part was very well mentioned, readable. Even in plumbing and sanitation also, we had divided the price of the fitting separately and the piping separately. So that was much more readable and understandable quotation. We had met first time with the doctor. We had one negotiation round, and in initial of the one negotiation round only, I think in second negotiation round we had finalized, and he gave us approval to go ahead. So that's the how we started the project. Yes, Prasad sir, over to you.
See, after finalizing this main part, along with the design and all design details, that the doctor client agrees with the quotation and the project cost, and then execution starts. Then the after execution, the earlier photographs that we don't have the initial photographs of existing site. After clearing all those old furniture from the old office, that we got this kind of, this is the dental clinic area. This is the CPC2 room that I just explained, that we constructed 9-inch thick wall here and there was opening. And so this is that CBCT room. This was the entire floor. That floor, on floor, the layout was marked over here. See, the initially that we just don't start with a blindly that layout is ready, then we can start from one. It is must that to mark all those things on site first. Need to check. Neresh sir, if you want, you can add.
Yes, sir. If you see this CBCT room, that was to make it lightweight, though it was we are having a support at one side on a column, other side we don't was having a support of a beam. So we had purposely made this entire brickwork lighter. We had used the Ciporex for constructing this brick wall. So the weight, by looking all this, the weight capacities and the load given by that particular civil person, because as this Rahul Capital is the civil building, means the person who is dealing with this building is basically a civil engineer, and so they had given us some restrictions that we cannot core cut any beams. So basically we had not even core cut a single beam here. We had everything that core cut is done in a wall only. So by keeping all these factors in the mind, after demolishing, we had marked that particular layout. Even in a layout, you can very clearly see these 3 inches and 9 inches differences, the line differences. First, I will mention that once I was cleaned this entire space, I marked the entire layout on a floor. Prasad sir was also in that first meeting. Before breaking, what I am telling, before breaking also we marked this entire layout. Then we found that the space is okay, and the thing which is on the paper can be created physically on the land. Both the things were very well cross-checked. All the minor details, passages, everything were checked by us, both of us, also with the doctors. At one stroke only. Rest we two was only involved in that particular. After getting this satisfactory, then we broken this entire surface. After breaking also we made this entire surface, and then again we marked second time we marked this entire layout. And why we mark second time? Because now we want to go for a piping and everything, so we should not get anything mismatched. So again second time we mark the layout on that particular raw floor. And then we started our rest of the work, that is called as piping. Now, as the time span was very less, how you can club the work? Because simultaneously the piping work was going on, the second work need to be started at that particular location. So we had started with the civil same time. We had started with the plumbing, underground plumbing work, and same time we started the carpentry, which you see the partitions are constructing above. The framing was done in initial stage only. After just when the floor was removed, at the same time we had marked this entire layout on the floor. All this floor was marked on the slab on itself. We can see the markings on the slab also. The same floor was again demarcated on the slab, and we have started this construction work simultaneously. So all these works were clubbed together. Many works were started at a time, and so we can manage to reach all this. We can manage all this site in given time. Yes, Prasad.
Yeah. A few more images from the construction process when the site was under construction. So you can.
Yes. Now at the first image that you can see the floor, half floor is constructed and half there is a sand. You can see, so you can see the floor rise. You will well know now how much floor rise is. It's approximately 7 and 7.5 inches. The floor rise was there, and the pipes which are coming above the floor, These are the different pipes that are using, the chair connections, the table connections, the partition wirings, everything. You will see these wires are coming, even the sanitation and plumbing line of the sinks, that are also you can visible. All these things are visible to you. And secondly, the second image, that which is, you see the partitions which are constructed above that, that also you can see, visualize all that ply work is been finished, and all that pipes, this all this particular flooring which we covered with the PVC sheets. So both this particular entire floor was, after finishing the floor work, this entire surface was made covered with an PVC sheet, so that no scratches or nothing will be get damaged to the original flooring. Then on another side, that lead sheet, the working of that lead sheet on the door, that is work is going on, so that CBCT door which was going to be kept in that, which was going to be hanged on that particular frame, we had done as per the rules, or done as per the requirement. The LED sheets is pasted on both the sides of that particular, and then again on that we had pasted an MDF, and on that MDF again the laminate was being pasted. Again the ceiling work, you will see the ceiling work is also that is also the procedure which you have done. That particular ceiling is of the consultation 2, doctor's main cabin, that particular ceiling is. So it depends upon that how this work gradually carries on. Step by step, there are a lot of things there that need to be explored, that definitely we'll explore in the upcoming time. Yes, sir.
Okay. So the construction was, the execution was going slowly, coming towards the finishing. Now you can see the same passage which was marked and which was shown to you. This is the passage which is leading from the the reception to that consulting number 2, doctors, the chair number 6. The conference room is on right side, and the passage which we showed you, that this is the CBCT room that you can see here in this picture. When the glass partitions were erected and the film was not placed on it, at that time, this is the selfie wall that we created. The patient come here and take the selfies, and this is behind it. It is the CBCT room, and this is the passage, and in which you can see only one basin unit and one trolley, one basin unit and trolley here, basin unit and trolley. So chair number 5, 4, and 3. These are the cabins. So this kind of work was going on, that filming was going on, this infographic was fitting. This guy is from the chair installation company. The installation was going on at the same time. So thus site was going ahead, and there were many things that were happening at the same time, and finally the project is ready for the handover. Before this, all these things, just to make you aware, all these things were happening in last year's lockdown period, when everything was closed, and the Nilesh sir took a lot of effort to complete this site. He took some extra permission. Sometimes he paid fine to the police also for the material transportation and all. Then he called some carpenters from Rajasthan. They came on a bike. All things were against the situation. So everything was happening during that period only. And now, after this, so many efforts, the Nilesh team was so prompt. Everybody, the electrician, if you see that person, that one cannot say that that this person can handle such a large project over there. So everyone was expert, and now the site is for ultimate final result is this. Now in this picture that you can see, there is a key plan over here of layout. So this is reception, waiting, and the account office. Here there is the account of a door, the vision panel to this account office, so that these reception people and these people can interact with each other. These people can keep an eye on this, what is happening outside. They should also know what is happening outside, and if there is any difficulty in payments or in some legal documents and some these things, then they can consult immediately over here. But that is not visible from this side, waiting area at all. That is visible from this side only. So if you see this picture, this last corner picture, then here you can't see that office is there. This is curve, partition over here, and there is a TV screen over here. So, and this was the requirement of doctor, that I want a curvilinear counter over there, because that gives you a large feeling and the limitless feeling and the infinity feeling and all. And he insisted that we'll have one circular portion over here which will go with this and all. Next, to this conference, this is the key plan. The conference, this passage, this is the waiting, this passage comes here. This is the conference room. The conference entrance is this corner, and they're sitting over here. The conference room, boardroom, and hands-on session. As I explained you just few minutes back, that he takes some hands-on practices sessions here of doctors. So they need to work here, the workshop that you can say, hands-on workshop practice over here. So requirement is fulfilled, that if you see, there are some sockets and switches who are provided here for each person, because they need some micromotor and some tools and some these small instruments here to use on in that session. And exactly opposite to this wall from where the photo is taken, on that wall there is a huge big large digital screen, interactive screen is there. So the idea behind this is that this conference room is also that if doctor is working on a patient in his chair number 6, that is operatory implant operatory, then that can be viewed from here. The connections were made like that. If doctor speaks something, then people can hear here, and here some amplifiers and speakers and mics were installed here, that if somebody asks any question from here to doctor on going on surgery, then doctor can answer from his cabin. So this provision also made in this conference and the in between conference and the chair number 6 cabin. Next is that this one, chair number 6. So as the doctor is an implantologist, so implant is like a small screw that is fixed in our mouth. So that head is a hexagonal. So that is called hex. So doctor wants to have some this kind of hexagonal portion over there in his cabin. So we made that, and this is the trolley to keep that particular unit that they need for the implant surgery. This is the cabin, doctor's cabin, that is consultation room, this one. And this is the entry for doctor's cabin here, Dr. Vijay Deshmukh, implantologist, and the implant surgery is this one, 6 number. A small cabin for his apron, overcoat, and all those things. And he particularly wanted this Ganpati Bappa exactly in front of him, the idol exactly in front of him. So that we made provision like that. Next, that this chair number 6, then 5, 4, and 3. So this chair number 4 is here, that CAD CAM, crown, bridge, and oral surgery. Then some cosmetology, this cosmetic dentistry 5, this is 4. This is the passage which is leading to chair 1 and 2. And this is the picture door of that CBCT room. And here you can see a small 7x7 window, which is having a lead glass over there. Yeah. So this is consultation room 1 on this side, that is Sonali Deshmukh and MDS orthodontics, which is written over here, and the treatments, that is orthodontics and all. So there are 2 chairs inside, these 2 chairs. The picture from another side, this is chair 1, this is chair 2, and this is this consulting table, ma'am's consulting table. From here you can see this is chair 2 and chair 1. The work platform is here, and the another work platform is here, and this is ma'am's table. This is the entrance door, which you can see here, and this is the entire storage that they want, the full height and the complete length storage. Almost it's a 10 by 10 storage is there, along with a side runner inbuilt, and the tabletop is having Korean top solid surface on it. And the where in this picture where that you can see the mouse is kept, next to that there is a light from bottom side of this table. When that light is on, then they need to trace A4 size some space to trace out the x-rays to make those braces and the brackets. So that provision also made. When the light is off, it looks a normal table. When the light is on, that much portion gets lit up in this. So these are the cabins, operatories, and all from this. Now, will not go in detail of those small electrical room and all that. So this thing, sterilization room, we have a small video after this, and then in that you can see some CBCT room and all. Okay, so this is what that all rooms. And finally, this project got acknowledged at national level by this standard. As you know, this award was won by this clinic. So that award actually goes on the doctor's name, because the award is from the dentistry field, not from the interior and architecture field. So this award is known as FAMDent Excellence in Dentistry Award. This is one of the prestigious award in this dentistry, and this was the category, that is metropolitan category. Okay, so this year, this happened last Saturday only. Now, actually, this program is offline program. Actual physical program is there always, which is conducted in some any of the metro city. But this year, because of this pandemic situation and lockdown situation, they conducted it online. And last Saturday, that we come to know that we were attending that live program, and in that we came to know that this clinic has got the first prize in all over India in metropolitan cities. So this is how it was constructed, and I think it's now we'll see a small clip of this clinic. Reception passage. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh, Sir, it was mentioned in the floor layout. It was the carpet area is around 2,200 square feet. Sir, the number is big. The number is big. 2,200 square feet is a big, but the requirements were overloaded. Requirements were overloaded. And I was in some after some 5-6 layouts alternatives. I was in this position. Rather, I requested doctor, sir, can we reduce one number of chair so that we can create, we can go with more spaces and spacious passage and all. So he said no. So Prasad, that I want 6 chairs only because the project is big for me, and that I want to make it viable also. Economy also that is there. It's not only for the interior. No. So that is not possible for me. Do anything, design it, fit it. So ultimately, somehow that we could manage it. See, the anthropometry for clinic or for any space, I don't think it differs or it changes project to project. Anthropometry is same because we are using common passages, we are using common spaces, we are using the common reception. Reception counters are standard, waiting are standard. But here the thing is that since this project was happening in last year, that is unfortunately it got uh, locked in that situation. After that, the requirement of waiting area got changed. The design of that got changed. And that you see the single seater sofa chair, separate chair over here, that was 11th hour change in design. But again, if we reduce the number of chairs here, the sofas and all those here, then again I asked doctor that, sir, can we reduce number of chairs in conference? There is a crowd in that. He said, no, brother, that will not change that because I may not conduct these lectures during this period. But but after this, when I conduct, then it will be allowed, and this I need. So there is no separate anthropometry over here. The same anthropometry that you have to consider because the length of person, the people who are working over there. Only thing that we have to keep in mind that if you want to install one chair over there, then there are minimum three people. One is a patient itself, then the doctor and one assistant. Because no doctor is working on his own. That is called two-hand dentistry. You might have also aware about this dentist, two-hand dentistry. But nowadays people are preferring four-hand dentistry. And like in implantology or in orthodontistry, they need six-hand dentistry. They need one more assistant at the leg side of patient as well. Okay, so we need to consider this. We need to get it explained from doctor that what kind of dentistry, other interior designers should know everything. All faculties, all streams from the dentistry, what kind of this work is happening, what kind of that work is happening, because there are few gadgets which didn't mention in this or they were not in this presentation. There was in chair number 3, there was a microscope, which was ceiling mounted microscope. So how ceiling mounted microscope means how it comes, how much space that it occupies, how the doctor works. Then when they use the microscope, where they need to see the picture of it. At the same time, patient also should be seen. All those considerations that you are taken, you should know about it. And if you don't know, you have to study for this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Especially speaking of the dental, there are much more services, and services they require more space, which is much more difficulty in this. That if you, I have one videos also, but Prasad sir might have that particular video. That when you see this underground before tiling work, you just see the pipes throughout that particular layout. Now, what thing critical is, because the many times all the layouts which are made of the services are schematic, but when on the side the things goes on changing, the overlappings of the pipes need to be considered. If one of the pipe is also get overlapped, there the height might get increased. And much more important part here is the sanitation which is to be done. Here you cannot create a pressurized sanitation. The design itself should create a passage in a such a way that automatic the pressure should be get built up and there should not be any choke ups in the line. This is first thing. Second thing, water which is provided to chair come through filter. So again, the pressure drops are there. You need to consider all these pressure drops. And third, much more important is that Basically, all this regular plumbing work, we take the connection from the walls and water is dropped down. But here we need to pull up water toward upward side. So all the basins and everything connections are coming from those. Again, that pressure also you need to understand. According to that, you need to change the different lines. You need to change some reducers, and you need to design in such a way that all these lines we need to consider. Here, if you see that once that there are in all, we have three sections, three compressors. We had kept two sections and two compressors in electrical room, and we had divided this because at from one end, if you see the distance of the chair number 6 or chair number 1 and the particular pantry, it is huge distance, or even the chair number 6 to the electrical room, the distance is much more. So again, what happens is major problem here is all the partitions are going to be constructed later after fixing the floor. So all these screwings and everything should not get damaged. So all that the services that has been put under floor, that need to be recorded very well. And this record again you need to kept in mind while executing all this till the end of the work, because all the agencies who is working throughout this entire session, either the curtains blinds person, there are many persons which are going to come in the site, so many a times, but fortunately we don't have any single puncture in the line till the end of the process. Will remind, we don't have any single puncture. Yes, yes, sir. There are much more glass partitions, and even we had number of partitions. We had fixed number of gadgets over all the wall, but not a single puncture or not a even single. Even we required many more changes after gradually the things goes on. Prasad sir will tell you, because initially the chairs were coming from the Brazil, but due to this lockdown, this entire container was been not been able to reach this country. Secondly, the chairs entire the chair has been changed. So the design of the chair was also changed. The services we had slightly managed all these things. Specification details has been changed, and still we managed to all these things do it very comfortably. Even in the initial stage of the design, the counters in that particular platform in the cable number 2, 3, and 4. The part this slightly different which we are seeing is not that was not the initial drawing, but yes, some things rechanged, and then also we had good manage all these things. After changing the designs, we never get hurdle in doing the things better or changing the layouts in minor changes or major changes. We had done it very well. And yes, definitely here services plays a very important role, because there are a number of services which are passing from the floor, and simultaneously the services passing from the upper floor. We all AC pipings are gone from the ceiling. Our all 6 or 7 AC pipings that has been run from the ceiling, we had managed, and we had initially designed their drains. In initial stage, before floor only, we had designed their drains, and all their drains were previously fixed in the walls. That pipelines were initially fixed in that wall, and so everything was very clear from Prasad sir point of view and my point of view, is that nothing should be get damaged at the time of the work. So no 11th hour running we had done. Everything was very properly planned, so the things runs very smoothly. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That CBCT. Yeah. So that CBCT is having its own PC over there. That CBCT is scanning. Overall, that it scans 180-degree face of it related to head. So that is having separate PC over there, and they are having their own image printer also, separate image printer also. But it is needed to store all those digital data with a server. You have to just connect it with a LAN. But there is one more thing, that CBCT, it's a trigger point, is taken out to protect person from the X-rays. But this unit has to be connected with a server definitely, and once it goes to the server, then it can be accessed from any of the computers. So that needs a LAN connection, and internal computer connections and all those there are there in their specifications. No, it is a central X-ray room. You can say central X-ray room. If when the first consultation is there, and after treatment, they scan it twice, or maybe if required in between as well. So to study the case study, it's a kind of case study only, that what is happening over there. If there are some irregularities in mandible, and if there is a